Okay, the next thing we're going to do here is offset the UV coordinates in Maya. So we have our object, we can see the UV mapping for it, and what we need to do is we need to offset it so we have each one of these UV coordinates in its own separate space. So the first thing I'll do is I'll turn off the grid because I don't need to see it. Then I will go by going to View and then Grid, and then I'll go over here to Image, Image Range, and I'll go over to the dialog box here, and I'm going to type in where it says maximum U. I'm going to put that here to 3 because I have 3 distinct different UV coordinates that I want in their own location. So when I do that, you'll see what it does is it repeats the image 3 times. And that will allow me to visually grab my UV coordinates and slide them over. I'll leave one here in this first position, one here in the second position, and the last one here in the third position. So what I'll do is I'll grab a corner piece here, holding down Control and right-clicking will bring up a context-based selection menu, and I'm going to hit To Shell. And what that does is it will allow me to grab one point or one UV point here, and then it will grab the whole shell of it. It makes my selection a lot easier. So I can just grab one point, slide it over, and now I'm just visually aligning it with the UV coordinates. I'm going to grab this piece. Again, I right click, holding down Control, drag up here to Shell, and I drag these coordinates over to this area. Okay, so I want to kind of zoom in, make sure that my placement is as good as I can get it, and that looks just fine right there. And so now I have my UV coordinates in 3 distinct positions. I've got one here, I've got one here, and I've got one here. 1, 2, and 3. And again, we're offsetting these UV coordinates so that we can bring the object into ZBrush and use polygroups, and then in turn turn those into subtools.